Imagine yourself gliding down a snow-covered mountain at a speed of up to 40 miles an hour, and the only engine you have is yourself. With no machinery whatsoever, you can fly, and have the best time of your life. If you've never been skiing, our guest today will explain to you the very many reasons as to why you should join him on the slopes. He will also tell you why skiing is one of the best extreme yet relaxing sports that you can find yourself involved in, the mountains that he adventures to, and more. The Humanities Mass Communication Department at Nova Community College presents The New Directors, the show that introduces you to television's future writers, directors, and personalities. And now join our host, James Thompson, to meet the next new director.
Thank you for joining us for today's edition of The New Directors. All of the people involved with this program are students in the television production course and are directing, switching, controlling audio, operating cameras, and acting as talent for the first time today. The guests you will meet on this show are students who, when not on camera, are behind the scenes working hard to bring this program to you with as few mistakes as possible. Each student has written and directed 4 different productions. This program will give them the chance to talk about themselves and the productions they've created and give you the chance to get to know them and enjoy some of the work that they've done during the semester. Our guest today is a longtime skier and has traveled throughout the United States to pursue his passion of skiing. From the East Coast ice slopes to the powder-filled Midwest pillow fields, we would like you to meet today's guest, Erick Stoltenhoff. Erick, how's it going, man?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, we understand that you're a really big skier. Could you tell us when you started skiing and what it was like getting started?
Absolutely. I started when I was about 3 years old, going up to Vermont and some local Connecticut mountains. We would take weekend trips. Sometimes we'd stay for the week. We really started going out west more when we were around like maybe 7.
Nice.
This is at some local, little far, Bromley Mountain in Vermont.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it's we really liked going. It was a big opportunity for us, for the whole family to get together. And now I do it with a bunch of my friends. You know, we'll go shoot some video if we feel like it. But it's more of just a really relaxing thing to do. You know, take your mind off what's going on.
Definitely. And this is all footage from up in Vermont, or?
Yeah, this is all mainly Vermont. This is Bromley Mountain, like I said. It's close to Stratton, if you're familiar with the area.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But, you know, these are all small. We wanted to just take the camera up, and maybe we'll get some good shots.
Just mess around a little bit.
Yeah, you know, we were young. It was maybe freshman year of high school.
Oh, wow.
And right here, this is one of the biggest times that I learned, you know, you got to get up from your mistakes. You got to learn from when you fall down. You know, you always got to get back up. And I really take that to heart. You know, with everything that I do, you're always going to make mistakes. The biggest thing is you have to get back up. You have to keep on trying. You know, here with this, I hit my head quite hard.
Oh no!
It was one of my biggest falls of my lifetime so far. And you know what? I wasn't wearing a helmet.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, so I really got that horrible concussion.
That's horrible. Well, I hope you're wearing a helmet from now on.
Absolutely, that's the next thing I did. You know,
Hate to lose you too early.
Whenever I was cleared to go skiing, I had to put on a helmet. I didn't want to go through that kind of trauma again.
And have you made any ski trips yet this year, or not yet because the season's so young?
Not yet. It's just kicking up, you know.
You excited though? I bet you're itching.
Oh,
I bet
absolutely.
you're itching to get out there.
Yeah. I need to get my skis back on. It's been quite some time. I mean, especially after last season with all the huge snow that we got. It was here, but mainly out west. I mean, they got 100 feet in a week in some spots, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I bet you're excited and ready to go.
Absolutely.
Could you tell us a little bit more about why you decided to take the TV production courses here at NCC?
Yeah, well, I've always been fascinated with video filming and editing. You know, as you can see with those amateur videos, there wasn't really too much involved. It was a couple slow-mo, a couple, you know, going back and forth, but it was quite sloppy, you know. Here we get to use really nice equipment. The editing programs, Avid, for example, is what we use on the computers here. You know, they really they're very informative. We have great professors that teach us and guide us along the way.
Definitely.
Yeah, so
It's a great program here.
I had to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And could you tell us a few of the things that you've learned in the class that maybe you'll take away from it?
Absolutely. I mean, time management is my biggest thing. I had to show what I could do, and I really didn't put the effort that I needed to. You know, like, I have all these great ideas in my head, but I didn't know how to put them together until I started taking this class. You know, we have our editing decision lists and whatnot. We have the shot list. You really have to put some time and effort into beforehand, like before you shoot your first film. You know, we have the storyboard and everything. There's a lot that goes into shooting before you even get it on the camera.
The whole process of putting everything together, definitely.
Yeah.
So I understand that students in the TV production courses are tasked with filming 4 projects: the Student Studies Project, the Cup of Tea, the Nature Project, and the Orange Project. Could you tell us a little? Please tell us a little bit about your project and your experience filming them?
Yeah. So, as I said before, time management was a big problem. I wasn't able to shoot 2 of my films, but this is Student Studies. You know, this was our first real project that we had to do. This is what I was talking about with the storyboard, the shot list, editing decision lists, and whatnot. A lot of work goes into shooting, like I said, before you even get behind a camera.
The pre-production side is definitely very extensive.
Yeah. And this is when we really got to this is when we first got introduced to Avid. So we would cut on the action, which was a really cool thing to watch. You know, sometimes I was the actor, but sometimes I've realized that it all kind of just works out in the end. You know, with cutting on the action, you realize that you kind of go into the same motions, so it looks all like one fluid motion.
Interesting.
But you have your edits in between.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, here's another one, putting the book into the backpack. And here, this is my fall foliage project. This was when I really came into my own. You know, we had our framing. This is the continuous zoom. This was a really cool thing that we got to do with Avid. You know, you put all 3 frames, you do a zoom for each shot, but then you put it all together in the final edits.
I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, and then we have, in the beginning of this film, I had a great shift focus.
Oh, very nice.
And it was going from a lighthouse to a piece of wheat that was flowing in the wind. And I was so pleased with my shots. I really came into my own. Like with Student Studies, it was, in my opinion, it was horrible. You know, I just was not happy with what I did. Nature Project was it was beautiful.
Which one, out of those 2 projects, which would you say is your best project?
Definitely 100% Nature Project.
Yeah.
You know, just the coloration, my framing techniques that I got to use. I really, like, with the rule of thirds, I got to put, as we see, like, I wanted to put the seagull in this shot as my main, like, my point of interest. But I didn't want to put it centered because it made it look kind of...
I see.
It was weird, you know?
Yeah.
So I wanted to put it in the left corner. Here I was really interested, you know, like, this is out in Montauk, and we got to shoot at, in Norwalk, Bridge Under the Bridge. I don't know if you're familiar with the area, but, you know, the coloration of the leaves and everything, I really like that shot with the splash, you know.
That was really cool.
It was a nice way to ripple the shot without doing any editing whatsoever. That was kind of just like a natural thing, even though it was a little fixed, you know, throwing a pebble in the water. But we really got to put all of our skills to work in this film, you know. Like I said, we have the continuous zoom and whatnot. That last shot that you saw with little vines, that's a nice, I thought it was a pretty nice way to do some converging lines.
Oh yeah,
and it was so natural.
That's a great
other than it's so natural. Other than like using a fence.
Oh okay.
You know, and I've always been interested with nature and whatnot as it.
Well, hey, your progress is definitely visible from the skiing projects to the projects you did for the TV course. So you know, don't beat yourself up too much. Right?
Thank you.
What is the most important thing that you think that you've learned in this class, and what will you do to put it to use in the future?
Well, I would really love to take my editing skills and capabilities onto the next level. You know, like I said, being able to cut on the action and make it look so seamless, it was very enjoyable, and it was really nice to see it all come together. It's nice to see all the my films come together with how much work goes into them, and then it's just it's such a nice a breath of fresh air to see how, even though I do think that they're bad, they do come out pretty nicely for what it's worth.
Well, I agree with that, definitely.
Thank you.
Today, we got to meet someone who guided us through the exciting life of a skier. As a new TV director, he hopes to apply what he has learned here at NCC to refine his videography and editing skills to introduce people to the sport. He also plans to use the new knowledge from TV One to continue capturing videos of his skiing adventures throughout America and hopefully the world. We would like to thank Erick Stoltenhoff for joining us today. Erick, thank you. I had a really good time interviewing you.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime, man. We hope you enjoyed meeting one of television's future directors, and we hope you will continue to join us each week to watch our progress. Thank you, and have a great day.
This has been The New Directors, with your host, James Thompson, directed by Stephanie Garvey. I'm your announcer, Danilo Vargas. The New Director is a Norwalk Community College student production.